no one's really getting benefit by telling you to have cumin, coriander, and fennel seeds for your digestion, are they?
No,
like
they're
who's
not.
getting paid for that? Maybe a spice company, but definitely not as much as a pharma company.
The following podcast is a Healthy Dog production. Welcome to the Healthy Dog Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Nigma Talib. I'm a leading naturopathic doctor now for over 20 years, and I've consulted thousands of patients with chronic illnesses. I've had clinics all over the world, and I have a #1 bestseller, Younger Skin Starts in the Gut. Listen, I know there's a lot of health information out there in the health and wellness world, and it can be a bit overwhelming. So I'm here to set the record straight and give you my expertise along with my expert guests here in studio in sunny Los Angeles.
I only take drugs with other people who take them on a regular basis because I don't have time for that.
A lot of chronic diseases stem from mitochondrial dysfunction.
Yes. And you know what I love talking about, right? Poop.
Yes. You can ask me about my poop?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about poop.
Okay, please.
This podcast is your go-to for achieving optimal wellness from the best of beauty and longevity and everything in between, because after all, wellness comes from the inside out. Welcome to the Healthy Dog Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Nigma Talib. Today, I have the most incredible guest. She is not only a dear friend, but she's a clinical nutritionist, dietitian, an Ayurvedic counselor, as well as a New York Times bestseller of this incredible book called JoyFull. It has 125 plant-based recipes. And I have to say, the pictures are incredible. I've tried some of the recipes. I've had the luxury to be able to go over to her house and try the recipes. And she is just an incredible human being, an entrepreneur. And she has her own podcast. It's my favorite podcast. It's called A Really Good Cry. And every time I watch it every week, I'm always crying, which I feel is good for me to let it out, better out than in. And she's here with us today. I want you to welcome Radhi Devlukia. Thank you for being here.
Nigma. That was such a sweet introduction. I'm so excited to be here with you.
I'm over the moon. I know we've been trying to get this in the diary.
We have.
And your schedule is nonstop between all the volunteer work you're doing and, you know, all the amazing entrepreneurial work you're doing. And you and Jay are just doing some amazing things.
Thank you. No, but I'm so happy to be here and that we got to actually do this together.
Finally.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you now, when you came up with this incredible book, JoyFull, where did you come up with this name? Because it is so you. If anyone who knows you, it's like that's what you think when you think of you, yellow and joyful. How did you come up with this idea?
You know, it's so funny. The day after I signed the contract for this book, I was actually doing my meditation in the morning, as I do every morning. And I was thinking about what I really wanted people to feel from the book. And obviously it's a book of recipes, but I also wanted to add so much more into it. And I think the first word that came into my mind was joy. And then I thought how beautiful that we can have, you know, there's joy that needs to be felt in so many different ways, whether it's in your belly, whether it's in your mind, whether it's just this overwhelming feeling that you get from your community. And so it really is a book that encompasses how to be full of joy in different aspects of your life. And so I got that name 3 years before it came out, and it did not change the whole process. I was like, no matter what my publishers or anyone kept telling me, I was like, no, this is the name for the book. And then the yellow was just like, it's just such a nice color. Like, it's such a happy, welcoming sunshine color. And I feel like when I was writing it, it was a period of time where people really needed a bit more color and vibrance in their life. And hopefully the book gave that to them.
No, it really has. And also there are photos of your mom and your grandma. And I've personally had the opportunity to meet your mom and hang out with her. I love her too.
Yeah.
It feels like family when I'm with her. And now I know where you got your eyes from, is your grandma.
My grandma, I know. She is gorgeous. She's 91, and she is still such a beauty.
So the recipes, before we delve into the book, is the book based on some of the recipes that you grew up with? Are they something that you had time? Because I know you were an Ayurvedic student and self-taught, you know, and I mean, obviously you did the training, but you've really been, you know, kind of like a game changer in this area for Ayurveda.
Yeah, so many of the recipes are inspired by Ayurvedic practices. You know, I wouldn't say it's an Ayurvedic cookbook because there are a lot of the rules that I don't follow. But really, I wanted to introduce people just to the concept of Ayurveda. And one of the huge things that I think are missing in the Western diet are spices. And so a lot of the recipes are curated so that you are increasing the amount of spices that you're using in your day-to-day life. Spices are so healing, and sometimes spices are more healing than a lot of the other things that we use to heal our body. And just for me, a big part of it was, how can I help people heal their body on a daily basis as a preventative to any of the other conditions that could come? And for me, that's been my spice box. So a lot of the recipes are based on that. And then childhood, of course, like my mom is an incredible cook. My grandma's an incredible cook. My dad can break it down in the kitchen too.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my God. His mac and cheese is in the book. It's an adapted version because when he used to make me mac and cheese, it had dairy in it, and I don't have dairy anymore.
Right.
So I made a vegan version, but I was completely, I was surrounded by so many good chefs and so many good cooks that I think from the moment I was born, I had already elevated taste buds because of how well my mum fed me while I was just in her belly. And so, there's lots of home recipes from my sister, from my brother-in-law, from my grandma, from my mum. So they tested and tried recipes that definitely have made me happy.
It definitely is an Ayurvedic book with a Radhi twist.
Yes, exactly. I think, you know what? It's such a Ayurveda, for anybody who doesn't know, Ayurveda means life, Veda means knowledge. It's the most ancient health science to exist. It's over 5,000 years old. And it is such a complex and intricate system because it really teaches you how to live with nature, live within your body to create the most optimal health. And it's so individual. And so for me, just having someone introduced to Ayurveda, the basic, foundational concepts can help change someone's life. And then the rest of it, I'm like, I'll pass you on to my teachers who know a lot more than I do. But just to be able to, have a book that can introduce people to the ideas of Ayurveda, I think has the ability to change so many lives. So I'm so happy that I got to incorporate all of that into, one book. I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, that many pages? Did I do that?
You did. And I've read every single one of them several times. It is a really incredible book, and everyone really should run and get this book.
Sweet.
Just to even keep on your, in your kitchen, or, there's just so many incredible recipes that are actually easy to do.
Yeah, there are lots of easy recipes, and there are some medium ones. I'm like, let me introduce you, get you used to your kitchen.
Yes.
And then let's try and step it up a notch here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're pretty simple, and there's lots and lots of flavor and vibrance in them.
So you have been vegan now for, I think, 10 years, if I remember you telling me.
Pretty much.
And so, but you grew up vegetarian because your whole family are vegetarian.
Yes.
You come from a family, and obviously you grew up from your religious values of Hinduism, right? So you started with a vegetarian. Then how did you shift to becoming a vegan?
Yeah, so I was born vegetarian. I come from a whole family of vegetarians, a lineage of vegetarians. But then my sister read this book called Eating Animals by James Safran.
Yes,
and
I read that book.
Yeah, I know. It's a hard book to digest, but it just shared lots of things which I couldn't unhear. And it was just a decision that my sister made. And then, actually my sister made that decision. She's 4 years older than me. She read the book, and then she said, "Oh, I'm turning vegan." I was like, "Okay, great, I'm turning vegan too." I was like, "Whatever you're doing, I'm doing too." And she was like, "No, read the book and figure out
make your own decision."
Yeah, make your own choice. So then I read the book, and I felt the same way. So then I turned vegan, and then slowly it was a domino effect. Her husband turned vegan, my husband turned vegan, my mum turned vegan, my dad turned vegan, my sister's children are vegan. So it kind of just had a knock-on effect, and I've never, ever looked back. There's no part of me that doesn't feel like it's the right decision. There's no part of me that through the difficulties of trying to find food, or, when I'm traveling, or going out to eat with friends, I don't know. I think what I read and what I've learned since that day has just always fueled the idea that I just think the little animal lives are so sacred. I just don't want to compromise that for myself.
Because you're already vegetarian, so you're already on that path. You just eliminated the dairy.
I just eliminated dairy, yeah. Because,
which must have changed your life.
Pardon?
It must have changed your life.
Oh, it completely changed my life. I mean, physically, my skin, my digestion, but then also just spiritually, it felt aligned because, everything I was reading, even then when I went on my spiritual journey, just that every single being has a soul, and every single entity in this world has a soul. And so how can I discriminate against one and the other and decide that it's my choice to eat this or have this as part of my nourishment when I could be nourished very well on plants? And I definitely can be testament to that. For the past 10 years, I've felt better and better with each year. And I feel like usually you think, oh, as you get older and older, you probably feel like your health gets worse. But honestly, I feel like my health's gotten better and better every year that I've stuck to it. So, yeah.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I'm 52 and I feel like I've had to learn so much. I feel like you're a really old soul. Like some of the things that you know, it's taken me longer to learn from. And when I look at you, I'm like, she's so young. You're in your 30s and you're just so far advanced. And it's been so great having a friendship with you because I truly learn. And that's what I love about friendships, new friendships, is that you really get to learn from these people and they really guide you in a way that they don't even know they're doing it.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I
it's
feel
been
the same
such
way
a
about
gift.
you.
Oh,
I do. I feel like our friendship was such a natural. It had such a natural beginning, and it just flowed so easily. There was no question of whether we were going to be friends or not from the moment we met. I feel like it just happened, and every time I spend time with you, I'm like, this is definitely a friend that I want to keep around.
oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Your book really taught me because I didn't read. I don't know if you know this, but in naturopathic medicine, we don't learn Ayurveda. It's not part of our curriculum, right? And so reading your book was really interesting. Obviously, you hear about all the different, aspects of, the different, what are they, like the
doshas?
The doshas,
Yeah.
like all the different doshas. I always get confused with all of them, but
I know.
you hopefully remind me on these ones. And then I was reading in the book, which really stuck with me, Ayurvedic, as you're saying, being the science of life, right? It's truly the oldest science of food, and it makes so much sense. And especially when I was reading the gunas. And so for people who haven't read your book or have read your book, and you'll understand it if you read your book, but can you talk to us about gunas and like what they are and some examples of guna foods?
Yeah, so gunas are essentially, they mean modes. And so in Ayurveda, it talks about how every single thing, so whether it is the food that we're eating, whether it's the environments that we put ourselves in, essentially everything that we allow into our senses can be split into these different modes: mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. So those are the three:
goodness, passion,
and ignorance.
Okay.
And so mode of goodness is exactly what it sounds like. It's all the foods, all the things that we do in our life that nourish our body and create vitality in our body. Like I always say, when you eat something, the point of food is to energize us and nourish us. So if you're feeling tired, groggy, low in energy, lethargic after eating, it's a sign that it wasn't necessarily food that was nourishing your body. And so mode of goodness foods are things that are essentially as close to nature as possible. So fruits, vegetables, whole grains, everything that's as close to as when it's been picked as possible.
Right, from the ground.
From the ground, yeah, from nature, that just,
if you can't grow it or plant it or something like that, it's not.
Say that again.
If you can't plant it again, or
yeah, it's just it's all the foods that have lots of that are dense in vitamins, minerals, nutrients, and so that's usually the food that has been organic, no GMO, fruits, veggies, whole grains, whole fats. All those things that you really feel when you eat them. Yeah, this has a lot of nutrient value and it's nourishing my body. But at the same time, it doesn't just affect our body, it affects our mind as well. And so it says the foods that you eat in the mode of goodness don't just have the ability to create nourishment in your body, they also energetically affect our mind. And so if you eat foods in the mode of passion, for example, those are all the things that are stimulating. So caffeine, very sour, very sweet, very salty, all the foods that we probably crave on a regular basis that we probably shouldn't be having.
Passion foods.
Yeah, passion foods, the things that your taste buds tell you to eat rather than your body telling you to eat.
Right.
And so those foods, and very like spicy foods as well. And so
that's me.
I know, I just love a bit of spice, don't we? This was part of our genetics though, so I think
so. It's like taste buds are genetically inherited.
Definitely, exactly. And so you know, when you eat foods in the mode of passion, not only does it create that, you know, if you think about passion, it's heat. And so a lot of these foods actually create inflammation in the body when you eat too much of them.
Right.
In the same way, they can create an aggressive mind, an agitated mind when you eat too much of them. Because naturally, if your body is inflamed, there's a high temperature in your body, and usually that creates agitation in the mind. And so, and the last category, mode of ignorance, they're the foods that make you feel dormant, stagnant, heavy. And that's things like deep fried food, leftovers that have been, you know, lost all their nutrient value.
I want to share something that could literally slow down how you age, inside and out. Let's talk about hyperbaric oxygen therapy, or HBOT. You've probably heard of it being used for athletes or wound healing. But what you may not know is the latest research is showing powerful benefits for cellular regeneration, brain health, and even reversing some biological markers of aging. Hyperbaric chamber works where you breathe in oxygen at higher than normal pressure. This process stimulates your tissues with oxygen and beyond what your body can normally get in. That extra oxygen jumpstarts your cells, helps natural repair processes, reduces inflammation, and boosts collagen production. It even stimulates the growth of new blood vessels. Studies have shown improvements in telomere length, which are kind of like protective caps on your DNA that shorten as you age. Longer telomeres, that's linked to healthier aging. If you're feeling the effects of aging, maybe it's slower recovery, brain fog, or skin that's lost its luster and glow, hyperbaric oxygen might be a powerful tool to help you feel sharper, stronger, and more vibrant. Go to oxyhealth.com, that's OXYHEALTH.com, and type in discount code HEALTHYDOC10 for your first order. Let's talk about leftovers for 1 second.
Yeah.
Ayurvedic doesn't believe in any leftovers.
No, maybe like a day. But apart from that, you know, once food has been cooked, it's really at its prime state. And so as soon as you put it into the fridge, it starts changing state and it starts losing its nutrient value. And the longer, once you've cooked a food, it's already, you know, if you think about when you pick a vegetable, it's at its prime nutrient value. Then you cook it, you lose a little bit of it. Then you leave it for 2-3 days, it's diminishing in value every second that it's there. And so ideally, you know, eating food fresh. But look, I always say if you're going to meal prep, and that is always going to be better having something that's 3 days old than going out and eating food that's deep fried and God knows in what oil. Rather than eating out, I always say meal prep is always better.
I agree. And I stopped doing leftovers after I read your book.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially things like rice. You know, rice grows so much bacteria in it as soon as it's put into the fridge. There are just certain foods that I think try and avoid, like make it fresh when possible.
It does. It grows this bacteria called citrobacter.
Yes, exactly.
And so it's dangerous. So
Yeah.
I think I've stopped doing that, and I've tried to prepare more fresh foods, but I do leave things like sweet potatoes in the fridge overnight.
I think it's impractical to think that you can't have, you know, I'll do that. I'll make a dinner. I'm not going to throw it out. I'll have it for the lunch and the next
Right.
day, but that's usually my cutoff point.
That's the next. Okay.
Unless it's pizza. Then I'd be like, you know, next day pizza, that's a thing you have to do because it tastes even better.
What is next day pizza? Like what kind of pizza? Tell me.
Oh my gosh, my favorite pizza right now in LA is Pura Vita. They do amazing vegan pizza.
They do?
And then there's this place in Sherman Oaks called, what is it called? Donna Jean. Oh my gosh, their pizza is amazing. So that's my exception, pizza.
But you get a vegan one, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah, they're both vegan places.
Okay, and then you put vegan cheese on top of that, or
they have the best vegan cheese made from cashew in both places. It's delicious.
Because I can't get into vegan cheese.
The vegan cheese here is awful. Like, as in the ones that you can buy in stores.
Yeah,
awful. But I'd say some of the vegan restaurants here have really stepped up their game. Very good. And then in London, they have such good vegan cheese. And you know what? The one vegan cheese I really like here is called Miyoko's. Have you heard of Miyoko's?
No.
Miyoko's, maybe I'm saying it wrong, but
yes, I know that company. They have a
great
butter or
cashew
something.
mozzarella. They've got butter, great ingredients.
Yes.
So,
okay, good. Okay, so we were talking about the 3 different modes, and before I interrupted you, we were talking about the third mode.
Yes, mode of ignorance.
Yes, the mode
so that's
fried
the
foods,
deep fried foods, leftovers, basically the foods that you eat and make you feel really dense and heavy in energy. And so if you think about it, you know, that's why a lot of the time when we feel like we're getting into a depressive mind state, when we feel like we're feeling really stagnant, low energy, the types of foods you eat make such a difference. If you're going to eat food that is in quotes junk food, it's going to make you feel like junk. And so it's going to make you feel really heavy and lethargic, and it's not going to uplift you out of that mood. And so if you do feel like you're in the mode of ignorance where your mind is feeling quite dull, you need to eat food that's going to uplift you, that's going to make you feel vibrant, light, and energetic. And so when you are in those states, yes, we probably, our taste buds are going towards eating fries and a burger and whatever else. But what our body really needs are vitamins and minerals that help our mood to be lifted. And so going towards fresher foods, having a soup, having like steamed vegetables, like the lighter foods that you have when you're in a stagnant state, the better. And really, depression is that it usually is this state of feeling stagnant. And, you know, I always think of it as feeling like you're in the mud. And so how do you get out of the mud? You have to be pulled out, but you're going to be pulled out when you're having lighter foods in your stomach that allow you to absorb all the nutrient value that you need.
What about onions and garlic? Because I have avoided, I get a lot of my patients to avoid onions and garlic just because they're really hard to digest. And they're also in, what mode would you say they are categorized in?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's a mix between like mode of passion and mode of ignorance. And so I always say this, that onions and garlic, well, garlic especially, was used medicinally for years. The problem is what we did was we took this medicinal plant or this medicinal vegetable, whatever you want to call it, spice, and we started using it in everything. And so, you know, there are every single thing. It's not necessarily what you eat, it's how you eat it. So how much you're eating of it makes such a difference. So something can be so great for you until you eat it in too large a quantity. And that's usually what we end up doing in this world. We're like, okay, avocados, I'm going to eat them, a whole avocado every single day. As soon as you hear something's good for you, you just want to eat more and more of it. So yes, garlic has anti-inflammatory properties. Of course it does. But at the same time, when eaten in large quantities, actually it causes inflammation in the body.
It does.
And so when I was a nutritionist and I was seeing patients with IBS, the first thing we would recommend is take onion and garlic out of your gut, out of your diet, because it really aggravates the gut and it causes sensitive, like your stomach will become sensitive to it. And usually as soon as you take onion and garlic out, a lot of people have noticed that their IBS symptoms reduced significantly.
You were a dietitian.
I was
in the hospital in Watford, right?
I was, yeah.
Right. So you worked as a dietitian, and so you saw like really complex cases, diabetes, pediatrics.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
It was amazing. I loved seeing patients because you get to see their progress every single day or every week that you see them. It was really interesting. I feel like it gave me an insight into Western medicine, which had, you know, two effects. I thought, wow, these nurses are incredible. They are the backbone of the hospital and they just don't get enough value put on them.
No.
But then at the same time, I thought, this environment is not created to help heal. Like that was how I came away feeling that, you know, 4 walls with hardly any sunlight coming in, the food isn't that fresh. And so how can you heal in an environment that's not created for healing? You need sunshine, like you need fresh air, you need vibrant food that's good for you when you are trying to heal your body. And so that aspect was really interesting. And then the third part to it was I noticed that Western medicine was quite limited. And like when I started learning about holistic medicine, I was like, God, there's so much more out there that we need to incorporate Western and Eastern medicine together to create the best type of health. And I think we're going towards it. But I think, you know, the best part is people are becoming so much more curious. So they're not necessarily listening to just what Western medicine tells them, because a lot of people have realized it doesn't give the effects that they want to. It doesn't get to the depths of their disease. You know, Eastern medicine is preventative and Western medicine is curative. And so Western medicine, you get diabetes, then they start to heal you. Whereas in Eastern medicine, in Ayurveda, it says there are 6 stages of disease before you even get to the point where you are diagnosed in Western medicine. And that's incredible, because that means we have the ability to recognize signs and symptoms far before we even get to the stage where someone's like, oh, well, now you've got diabetes for the rest of your life.
Right.
And so I think that's so beautiful, because it gives us the ability to prevent versus just patch over whatever's already damage we've done to our body.
Absolutely. And I would take it a step further to say that we can treat chronic illness through eating optimal.
Absolutely.
Like if somebody were to take the recipes in your book, which is when I first got your book, I went crazy in my kitchen. I made a massive mess, but I had a lot of fun making different recipes. And Also a really good friend of mine has been cooking for me vegan options. And when I went away, for a couple of weeks, and I felt, because I was dibbling and dabbling into like takeaway because I just don't have time.
Yeah.
And just realized whatever chronic, inflammation that I was feeling literally resolved.
Wow.
And the concept that naturopathic medicine or Ayurvedic medicine is just preventative, I feel like it is treating the root cause.
Definitely.
And it's good for chronicity, which is what we're missing in medicine, don't you think?
I do. I think that the problem is when you end up getting autoimmune disorders, you get all the chronic conditions like heart disease, diabetes, whatever it is, you're told, oh, well, that's it. Now you just take medicine for the rest of your life, and that's just the life that you have to lead now, which is so untrue. You can reverse pretty much, I know people who've reversed cancer through eating different foods or fasting.
Absolutely.
Like every chronic disease that is out there, I have seen it been reversed. Autoimmune disorders, I've seen people in remission from rheumatoid arthritis just by changing their diet and lifestyle. And I'm like, well, if that's, and autoimmune disorders are usually the disorders that they say, you've just got this for life. When you have it, you have it.
Right.
So I'm a strong believer in that.
Yeah. And, just being in this and, hearing people when let's have some Juni. Yeah.
Oh, I should try that actually.
Yeah. We mixed the Juni inside here, I think. Did we? I think, no, we can do. Taking a sip break. So this is a vitamin C cocktail. What I do is I mix your Juni inside.
Do you?
Yeah, just give myself a boost.
That's a great combo. Yeah, I love your vitamin C. I take every day.
True wellness lives in the smallest details. The air you breathe, the water you wash with, and the surfaces you touch. That's why Koala Eco, with their beautiful botanical ranges for home, laundry, body, and even pets, is the only brand I trust. Elegant living without compromise. Visit koalaeco.com, that's KOALAECO.com, and use my code HEALTHYDOG15 for 15% off your first order. It's interesting. And it's so good to speak to someone like you that really gets it. And a lot of my patients get it. I'll hear from some people that are not quite there yet say to me, oh, this is really interesting. I kind of believe in it. And I'm like, they're on the academic side where conventional medicine is viewed as academic, which is quite interesting to me because the way conventional medicine treats is a symptom in a drug. Now, that drug has been tested by the drug company. To me, that's not scientific because that's not double-blind placebo and third-party tested.
Yeah.
To me, the real science is actually looking at markers on your lab tests, like looking at C-reactive protein.
The proof is in the pudding.
The proof is in the pudding. And so we need to turn this narrative around that this is woo-woo or this is alternative. Or it's, complementary. It is the true medicine. Food is medicine. And getting to, if your diet isn't great, doesn't matter how much you work out, you're going to still have issues.
It's also not the alternative because it's been around way longer than conventional medicine. And I completely agree with you about the studies. I keep saying this to people whenever they come at me, whenever I'm talking about spices or healing your body through food. I'm like, you're choosing to believe something that's been studied for 5 years, and I'm sharing something that's been passed down for 5,000 years.
Right.
Which one sounds like there's been more evidence for it? And on top of that, the person that's sharing it with me is my grandma or her grandma, who, by the way, has zero incentive of sharing.
Right. She's not getting a kickback from Big Pharma, right?
No. Exactly. And so actually the way that this information has been passed down, and by the way, it's the most cheapest option as well. So no one's really getting benefit by telling you to have cumin, coriander, and fennel seeds for your digestion, are they?
No,
like
they're
who's
not
getting paid for that? Maybe a spice company, but definitely not as much as a pharma company. And so I think when you end up breaking it down like that, it kind of like, how can you believe something which is funded by the person who wants it to work and has had maybe 5 to 10 years of testing, when some of these things that we're speaking about are so much simpler, cost less, and have been tested and tried for thousands and thousands of years? I'm like, that to me, there's a no-brainer, guys.
It is. And I'll have patients come to see me and they have breakouts of acne and they've gone to every dermatologist, and I get them to change their diet.
Yeah.
I do a full food intolerance, and also like I do a tongue and pulse assessment so I can see what's going on in their body. I do their vitals just as a conventional doctor does. But then once I get them on a plan of eating, their breakouts completely stop, and they've been meanwhile back at the ranch on Accutane and all these things that are damaging the liver. So some cases are more difficult than others, but I've had so many cases where you can really get to the root cause through just starting with diet and supplements.
Definitely. I'd say like some of the main contenders in that are if you are someone who suffers with any kind of, and I'm sure you've spoken about this, but skin issues, gut issues, if you take out dairy, gluten, and sugar out of your diet, those three things,
and wine,
and which pretty much ends up being sugary, like
right?
In
it's
the
sugar and
category.
wine, same thing. Yeah.
You take out those three things, I guarantee you will see. I'm not saying it will be completely healed, but you will see significant difference if you had one of those three or all of them in your life for a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I talk to you about this all the time, but every time I cut out, I went through a phase of cutting out sugar for like 45 days. My skin was phenomenal.
You did such a good job. You were
at
so
Christmas,
amazing.
New Year's, and when I got back here, I'd been eating a fair bit of sugar, and straight away, my forehead, I started seeing all the little bumps on my forehead again. I cut it out again for 2 weeks, and it's gone again.
Body's speaking to you.
Your body's telling you a lot. Your skin, your hair, your nails, every single part of your body that you can see is only there so your body is able to communicate with you. Your body is communicating with you every single day through your external body, but also through your gut. Like was speaking to somebody about the gut yesterday, and it was amazing. They were saying how the messaging capability of your gut microbiome is actually more powerful than even what's in your brain. So your gut is actually messaging and giving you signals all the time about what it needs, but you have to learn how to listen and tune into it. And I think that was so powerful.
It's so powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that vagus nerve, right? It's that, think of it this way. Your brain and your gut, you have a telephone wire between the two of them, and they're calling each other, right? And if there's a storm, which is you eat gluten, right? Yeah. It disrupts the connection. And I always like to give analogies to my patients because I like to learn. I like analogies. I like, can you imagine medical school, how much we had to like memorize, right? Totally. So I always used different, I named different hormones superpowers, and I had to do that to memorize things, and that's how I learned. But that's how I like to teach my patients is that communication between the gut and the brain and the microbiome. We still don't know all the effects of the bacteria and what they actually do in the body. So the food that you're eating is giving those messages to your brain. Yeah. So if you're depressed, it's coming from your gut.
Absolutely.
It's not coming from, it could be something somebody did that triggered you, but that trigger would have been less if your gut wasn't so inflamed.
Yeah. Even to the point of when you're choosing what you're eating, and if your body sees you are looking at a bag of chips that you've eaten before and have made you feel bad. Right. And then you are choosing to eat it. From the moment you're looking at it, actually, your body, from the moment your taste buds taste it, your body is starting to create this signal that we are in unsafe things are coming into the body. Ah, yes. And so yesterday I had someone on my podcast and we were talking about how actually our body wants to feel safe at all times. Right. But as soon as you start putting things in that are harming it, it starts to create this unsafe environment. Mm-hmm. And so from the things that we are drinking to picking up to listening to, are we creating a safe environment where our nervous system, our gut, our mind feel at ease? And as soon as you start choosing things that actually harm the body, your body starts saying, oh, wow, you're not treating me well. It's literally like a partner. It's like if I keep feeding you food that doesn't make you feel good, keep feeding you food that doesn't make you feel good, you're like, do you really love me? Right. Because you're choosing to kill me. Like you're choosing every single day to eat foods that hurt me and upset my gut and make me feel in a depressive state. And then when I start feeding you things that are good, your body's like, wow, you really truly love me because you care about me and you're feeding me things that I really need to nourish myself and flourish in this environment. And so I really have started seeing it like that. It's like when I'm reaching for things, am I choosing to create a safe environment or unsafe environment for my body?
Wow, that's such a good way of looking at that. That can actually shift somebody from eating a certain. And it's nice that you share that because you know, your tips can help me and my tips can help you.
I actually got this Dr. Mindy Pelz came on my podcast and she was
Yes.
sharing this concept, and I was like, this is
She's so awesome.
phenomenal. She's amazing.
I love
She's
her.
great.
From PMS to perimenopause to menopause to postmenopause, I've lived through it all. And through every stage, one thing becomes clear. Hormone fluctuations change how our bodies regulate temperature, especially at night. When your body overheats, even slightly, it disrupts deep, restorative sleep. The kind of sleep your hormones, metabolism, and mood depend on. That's why I can't live without my Rani Lounge pajamas. Their advanced technology activates natural fibers, making the fabric moisture resistant, naturally fresh, and ultra breathable, allowing your body to stay cool and regulate temperature the way nature intended. Better temperature control means deeper sleep, better recovery, and a body that feels truly at ease. Whether at home or traveling, staying cool, fresh, and comfortable has never felt so effortless. Go to RaniLounge.com, that's RaniLounge.com, and use my code HealthyDog15 and get 15% off your first order and experience sleep the way it was meant to be. On that note, I want you to share with us, because I read in your book and it was your wellness routine. I think it's on page 58. I think I've read it several times now. Well, I've read it a million times now, I feel, but and my mom stole all 3 copies, so she's going to send them to all her.
But I know I love her.
She's dying to meet you. I want you to go over your routine, because your routine is literally, because I wanted to adopt some of those into my, it's just, I'm not a morning person. So
Totally.
I need to get my act together with that. I'm like a night owl.
Yeah, you are a night owl, aren't you?
Yeah. I don't know if it's the menopause or I have no idea, but it's like I get more work done in the evening. I mean, because I'm seeing patients all day, but yeah,
course.
I get a second wind.
Yeah, you know what? I think one thing I will say is what's in my favor is I've always been a morning person. My mom, like,
Your mom's a morning
even when
person,
I didn't want to be a morning person, my mom would be like, you better I don't care whether you've been out till 4 a.m. at a club, you better get up, because we do not lie in past 10 a.m. here.
Really?
I mean, 10 a.m. was like pushing it.
Because your mom was a fitness instructor too. Did she make you work out too?
She's just like a fanatical morning person, like militant. We were not, like, it was not okay to sleep past, I would say, even 8 a.m.
What?
Like, even on a weekend.
As a teenager?
Oh, yeah. If I went out clubbing, that was my choice. As soon as I got back, it would be like, if I slept past 11, my mom would be like, what, has the devil come into you? What are you doing? Like, you better get up out of this bed. She wouldn't say the devil, but, you know, she would be like, this is not great. So when I was younger, I didn't appreciate it most of the time. But as I've gotten older, I really appreciate my mornings. And my like lions are probably like a 7:30, and then my body is up and ready to go.
Your lions are 7:30.
Unless I go to bed at like 4 a.m. or I'm on my period, and then I'm like maybe 8 a.m.
Yeah.
But yeah, my body's just used to it. I mean, if you think about it, I've been like this since I was really young, so it's just my natural body clock. So yeah, I usually wake up around 5 o'clock, sometimes a little bit earlier. And then, but I just need to say, your morning routine is really dependent on your evening routine. And so, you know, I'd say 50% of being able to actually have a constructive morning routine is how you plan your evenings. And so, you know, I've really prioritized not having late nights. My late nights are Friday nights with you at games night.
Yes, I love our games night.
Those are our games nights where...
That's like a 10:30, 11 night sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it goes on to like 12, 1, whatever, depending on who's there.
Yeah, fair enough. It has gone on.
But I'd say I really pick and choose how many nights a week I will do that, because my mornings are so important to me. And so usually I'm in bed by like, I feel like I've reversed to being a child. Usually I'm in bed by 8:30, 9 o'clock, which then allows me to wake up around 4:30, 5 o'clock and get a good night's sleep.
Okay.
And then obviously I brush my teeth. I usually wake up and the first thing I do before I even look at my phone is just say a really quick gratitude prayer. Just like, thank you so much for letting me wake up this morning. Thank you for my eyes. Thank you for my breath. Like, I'm so grateful that I am even alive today, because, you know, we really are so grateful. We are so lucky to be alive every single day. So I usually do that. And then I check my phone because my family live abroad. I mean, they live in the UK. And so I'm always like, wake up a little bit like, let me check everything's okay.
Right.
So I do that and then brush my teeth. Oh, and then I have my hot water with coriander, cumin seeds and fennel seeds usually, which is like the best digestive blend. It helps to gently detox the body, helps to reignite your digestive system after having been dormant for, 8 hours while you're sleeping. So that's usually my tea. I take that into my meditation area, and I do my meditation for an hour and a half, but I've obviously worked up to that over the past like 10, 15 years. So yeah, for a while now, I've been doing my meditation and breathwork in the morning for an hour and a half. And I do mantra meditation. So there's a repeated mantra that you say. And
Which one do you use?
I do the Hare Krishna mantra.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like Hare Krishna and Rama. There's 3 words in it. Just repeat it. It says Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare is the feminine aspect of the divine. So you're calling it's essentially calling like the feminine energy and all the qualities that the feminine energy has towards you. Krishna means all attractive. So like I am like inviting the all attractive into my life, and Rama means or Ram means reservoir, pleasure or joy. And so again, just inviting joy and happiness into your life,
as you have done, exactly. As you have done to thousands of people. That morning routine. Sorry, go on.
No, and then so I do my meditation, then I go to do my workout, and then come back, have my breakfast, and it's time to start the day. At 9 o'clock. Wow. It's time to start work.
Wow, that's amazing. And may I add, tongue scraping, because this is a funny story. So I have a really good friend of mine. She now lives in the UK. She moved from Vancouver, and she bought me a tongue scraper for one of my birthday presents.
Oh my gosh! Do you in your culture? Do you not grow up tongue scraping?
No, I did, but I forgot. And then I moved around a lot, and I don't know why I forgot, because once you do it, you can't stop doing it.
No,
like it's kind of like
cannot.
It I don't know what happened. Something happened. Yeah. Okay. And so she buys me this tongue scraper, and I'm like,
great gift, good friend. What good friend.
And she's like, you won't believe what comes out. Like you need to do this.
Yeah.
And she's like, now I can't live without it. She's like, and I said, I haven't done it forever. So yeah, she goes, call me tomorrow morning after you've done it. And it's like the funny things, like we buy each other, but the tongue scraping is so important, because the first, and you talk about it a lot in your book, and the first thing, if you drink water without tongue scraping, that means you're swallowing all those toxins that are sitting on your tongue, and you can't really get that bacteria off the tongue from just brushing your tongue with a toothbrush.
That tongue scraper is so important. When I travel, I have a travel tongue scraper.
Me too.
I have a tongue scraper that I keep at home, and then I have like 20 backups at home, because if anyone comes and stays in my house,
backups.
No, I have a tongue scraper. Every time someone's staying at my home, there is a new tongue scraper in their thing, because I'm like,
I hope it's new.
Yeah, of course it's new. Yeah, can you imagine? We like to recycle in this house.
I'm just recycling.
It is such an important thing. I'm like, also, I don't want your smelly breath near me in the morning, so you better use that tongue scraper. No, it is such an important part. It really does. The toxins that build up on our tongue, they've built up on the top of our tongue to be released and taken out of our body. It's one of the systems of detox in our body. And so if you haven't grown up doing it, it's never too late. You can get it off Amazon. A few tongue scrapers. There's stainless steel ones are my favorite, or the copper ones.
Yes.
Better than plastic, because you don't want to put
plastic. Oh yeah, you don't want
in
plastic. Yes.
But so easy, and once you start, you will not want to stop.
When did you start?
Oh, from the moment I started brushing my
teeth.
When you were a child. Yeah.
So your mom got you doing that at a very young age.
Yeah, completely. It was part and parcel of it. You just wouldn't think about it. Just as you brush your teeth morning and evening, like tongue scraping was just a non-negotiable. I used to get really annoyed at my husband. I'd be like, because he didn't grow up necessarily brushing his teeth always at night.
Right.
And I was like, absolutely not. You will brush and tongue scrape every night. Otherwise, you are not getting into this bed. That is not that is a non-negotiable for me. So
that's like wearing street clothes in bed. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Yeah, that's like wearing your outdoor clothes on my sofa.
No, it's not going to happen.
It's indoor clothes. I know you're learning a lot about me here.
I know
about my traits.
You're very similar to me in that way. I definitely would make anyone tongue scrape. Next time, whoever I'm going on a date with,
exactly.
If you plan to be
that should be a question that you ask on the first date.
Yeah.
Do you tongue scrape?
Yeah. If you don't, you're out. And the dog doesn't like
hygiene.
you, you're gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Dante.
He loves falling asleep during the podcast. Speaking of which, Jay, your husband,
Yes.
who is, who I got to meet
legend.
through you, he's a legend. He's lucky to have such a beautiful, incredible human being like you in his life, because he
Honestly, I'm
should
lucky.
only have someone like you in his
Yeah.
life.
He's
because
much
both of
nicer
you,
than I am, honestly. He's a good, he's a good guy.
he's a good,
is.
both of you. And I just loved spending time with you. And I got to learn about your story with regards to how you moved from the UK to New York, and how that was like you got married.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Jay gets his dream job, and now you're moving to New York. And it was like kind of for you like bittersweet, because in one
No, it was
way,
just bitter at the time.
at the time, it
Yeah,
was bitter,
yeah.
and it was really like you were really protesting.
Yeah, I
But
was.
Tell me about that journey and what.
Well, I never really wanted to move. I always wanted to stay in the UK, near my family, next to my sister and my mom and my
Yeah.
grandma. Everyone lives in the same area. You know, it was just going to be, we bought a home. The only, except for tongue scraping, the only other non-negotiable like request I had was, can we live close to my mum, my sister, and my
Sure.
grandma, because they all live close to each other, and you know, I'm very close to them. And Jay, of course, had no issue with that, so we bought a home close to all of them. And literally 3 weeks after we got into this home, he got his dream job in New York. And he told me, and you know, normally he'd be like, I said, oh, that's amazing, I'm so excited for you. And then he said, but it's in New York. I was like, what? So you're going to New York, or we're going to New York? Which one is it?
Right.
And then I think I did the silent treatment, because it takes me like 3 days to process things, you know. Probably didn't talk to him for like 3 days, and then
no.
eventually said, yes, obviously I want to come with you, and
Right.
you know, you fulfill your dreams, whatever dream this is that you have. But for me, it was giving up my job because I couldn't work in New York.
Right.
It was giving up my family. And he was like, it's fine, you know, we'll just go back and forth. You stay here, I'll go there, we'll make it work.
Right.
And I was like, I'm not going to do that. We just got married, you know, we want to be in the same place. So moved to New York, and it was a huge transitional time for me. I'm the youngest child.
Right.
Like, I was just babied and mollycoddled, and constantly like everything was done for me. So I moved to this new place after being married where I know no one, and I'm like, oh God, I have to grow up. Like, I need to pick my own bed sheets. My mom's not here to tell me what to buy.
But New York too. New
Yeah,
York
New
could
York.
be a very lonely place.
New York is intense.
It's intense.
It's so intense.
More intense than London. London is like a softer,
It
more,
definitely. And
you
I was
know,
in the outskirts of London. I was not a city girl.
Right, Watford, right?
Yeah,
So-
exactly. And so, but you know, sometimes I think for certain people, and this was definitely good for me, being put in a high pressured environment, like completely thrown out of my usual, the life that I thought I was going to have.
Right.
All those things kind of smashed to pieces was actually the best thing that ever happened to me, because it allowed me to just create a new version of myself that I would have never been brave enough to create, and explore parts of life that I would have never explored had I just stayed in the same town that I was born in. And so it gave me a new perspective to life. And I really had, and also allowed me to start pursuing holistic nutrition and Ayurveda in ways that I would have never experienced it or come across it. You know, I came across my first teacher in Ayurveda called Divya in New York. She has a restaurant there called Divya's Kitchen, and I started kind of being her little intern and just following her around, learning from her. And I don't think I would have ever done that. I did my yoga teacher training there.
Yes, you did yoga teacher.
Yeah,
that must have been incredible.
It was phenomenal. And for me, I by the way, I studied 6 years because I studied nutrition, and then I did a postgrad in dietetics.
Right.
And so I was studying for 6 years to work for less than a year at something that I'd studied for 6 years, and then had to give it up completely because I was on a spouse visa. And so it was a really interesting shift that I had to make of, okay, time invested in something doesn't necessarily mean I have to continue it for the rest of my life. So let me find something new.
And I feel like that set the ground for you because
Definitely.
because you learned all the things in the conventional medical model, and you saw the problems and the cracks in that system, and you wanted to make it better. And then you included your like where you're from, you know, like it's such a beautiful.
It took me back to my roots, actually.
You took you back to your roots, and you know, you had mom, you know, all the things that she taught you, grandma, and then you got to step away from that to really appreciate it and digest it. And so I feel like that, as much of it probably was lonely and miserable and difficult, I think you did I mean, you look at where you are now. I mean,
It was definitely a journey I needed to go on. Yeah.
And how did you like, how was that for like a newlywed couple? Like, how was that on your...
It was intense, but also at a time where you kind of just have each other.
Right.
It's kind of a good thing, because then you're
Right.
just stuck in it with each other. It's
Yes.
like, okay, this is rough, but we're going to rough it out together. And so actually it was a really nice time for us to have. You know, had we been in London, I would have made him come to my mum's house every single day. So for him, it was pretty great because he got me all to himself, and
Yes.
we got to create our own life together, which was really beautiful.
Yeah, it's so breaking away from the family, but still, you know, and it's nice that your mom still comes and visits.
Yeah, I have to.
And you go and visit
I
her
have
a
to
lot.
drag her and guilt her into coming.
I know. I'm going to guilt her too.
Yeah, you have to.
I'm going to be on top of her.
We'll be lucky if we get her here once a year, because I go back so often. They don't really feel the need to join me out here, but I'll have any excuse to go back to London. I'll go back. I love London.
Me too. And I lived in London.
I know.
I'm surprised we never bumped into
I
each
know.
other.
I'm sure we did. We probably just didn't see each other in that way.
I've built my entire clinical philosophy and even wrote a book called Younger Skin Starts in the Gut around one simple truth. If your gut isn't optimal, nothing else works. Genova Diagnostics GI Effects test is the gold standard in functional stool testing, mapping your microbiome, digestion, inflammation, and nutrient absorption with clinical precision. It's a crappy job, but someone has to do it. And no one does it better than Genova. Visit genovaconnect.com and use my code HEALTHYDOC15 for 15% off your first stool test. Well, before we end, I want to ask you some questions about, you know what I do for a living, and you know what I love talking about, right? Poop.
Yes. You can ask me about my poop?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about poop.
Okay, please. As
so-
a dietitian, I also had to do that.
But I know. So like
We both are in the poop
I know.
industry.
Yeah. You know, just now I'm known as the poop doctor.
Yeah. But you know what? It's a good title, though.
Little did I know when I was 5 years old, this is what my life was going to be, like talking shit, you know, but here I am. I want to ask you, I mean, you're probably not the right candidate to ask because you know the answer, but I'm curious to see what your answer is. How many times a day do you think people should poop?
You know, I'm going to say like 3.
3?
2 to 3.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't know anyone that poops 3 times a day, but like if you're eating nutrient dense foods, then definitely you're pooping 3 times a day.
Wait, is your question how much should they, or how many times do I think people do?
What was I asking you now? That's a good question.
sorry,
How many times should they poop?
Should they?
Yeah, so you're saying 3.
I'm
You're
saying
sticking
like
with 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
A solid 3.
Yeah, as long as it looks like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly. As long as it's a solid. Yeah.
It's a solid poop.
3.
This is a solid 3. If it looks like this,
Yeah. If it's a little bit wet, it's a no.
got like chair hairs all over it. This is somebody undigested hair in the stool.
Yeah.
So this is porridge poop, right?
Yeah.
This is the one we don't want. If
We
you're
do not
doing
want porridge
3 of
poop.
these a day, and even like one of these are not good.
No.
These are not good.
Porridge poop, no.
No.
Explosive poop,
this
no.
one is a good one because this is exactly how you want it. You want
There
it
you go.
as shaped, all in one piece,
Yeah.
and you want it bloop.
And no floaters either.
Exactly. You want it, and that's like the nutrient density that you get from fiber and like
exactly.
vegetables and all those wonderful. Wow, it's really sticking to my page here.
I mean, that's a sign of bad poop. Sticky as well. No sticky
Yeah,
poop.
right. No stickiness, and yeah, very interesting. So the research has shown that constipation is 1 to 2 times a week, like
That
in the conventional medical model.
1 to 2 times a week to have constipation is normal.
Yeah. Well, they're saying that's what constipation is. And to me, I think some people like every other day is constipated, you know?
Absolutely. I'd say I know friends who haven't got who find it difficult to poop even once every 2 days.
Yeah.
Once
Or
every 3 days.
even if your poop is incomplete on, like, say you poop every day, but it's incomplete. So I call it incomplete evacuation, right?
Right.
So you've not fully evacuated
Yeah,
because you
get
don't
that
have
out.
that fiber to get it out. And, you know, getting poop out is important because you're bringing with it all the toxins being
Definitely.
taken out, all the short chain fatty acids are supporting the gut lining.
It can give you brain fog. It makes you feel so like nauseous, sick, lethargic.
Weight gain, skin issues,
Yeah.
So really this pooping is the secret to beauty, everyone.
Yeah, I'm
and
with
wellness,
you.
right?
I'm with you.
Okay. So what I wanted to do for you today is I wanted to gift you a poop test.
Yes.
Because I love you so much.
Thank you so much. Honestly, what a great gift. I feel like you really know. Tongue scraper and a poop test is my love language.
Well, that's why we're friends,
Yeah.
right? You know, we talk shit and clean our tongues.
Yeah. We do. Oh my God, thank you. I've been meaning to do one of these.
This is a 3-day stool test, and it's really cool because it looks at all the good, the bad, and the ugly bacteria in the gut and
Amazing.
Parasites, because I know you just went to India.
I did.
Not trying to give India a bad rap, but sadly,
You know what? My gut was okay there, but yes, generally it can be
can
hit
have
and
a
miss.
delayed effect,
Yeah. Oh
you
my
know.
God, thank you. So I will definitely do that.
the 3 days, and it's also going to measure to see if you have leaky gut. I measure something called zonulin. Zonulin is something released from the intestinal tight junctions,
Yeah.
and if you've got leaky gut, it'll tell me if you have.
Well, I want Jay to do one of these too. Yes.
Yeah. Well, when he comes on the podcast, I
Yes.
will. I'm gonna. So it's 3 days. Day
Who
1,
is
day
it
2.
by?
So this is Genova Diagnostics.
Oh,
I've been
okay, cool.
using them for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
When I first started practicing naturopathic medicine, they were the first lab, and I worked for them in Canada.
No way.
Consulting doctors all over the world.
Oh, that's
so what I
cool.
would find, Radhi, is a doctor would call my office and want to book a consultation with me to review their patient's lab
Right.
test and their lab test. And I would look at the test and I would say, hey, that person has an autoimmune condition because the type of bacteria that were in their gut. This was in 2002, 2003. I was diagnosing other doctors' patients with autoimmune conditions.
Wow.
So I said, you need to do an autoimmune panel on your patient because their results are autoimmune bacteria causing. And they would come back and it would be positive. So I got known by all these doctors in Canada to consult with me, and I had just graduated. So it was I learned a lot from this
I'm
company.
excited. How long will it take to come back?
Like she's so excited
Yeah.
for the poop. 2 to 3 weeks.
Great. Okay.
So, I mean, I would do it on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, mail it in on a Monday, and I'll get the results in 2 to 3 weeks.
Fab.
And I'll review it with you, and we'll like geek out
fun.
on poop.
Great.
We'll geek out on your
our
poop.
next friend date.
Right. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, and I've given you some vitamin C as well.
Thank you.
I say vitamin C in the British way.
Vitamin C. Yeah.
Yeah, I try to do the British accent. I mean, I did live there 11 years.
You
but,
did.
Last but not least, Radhi, where can people find your book?
Oh gosh, everywhere. Amazon, Barnes and Noble. If you're in the UK, all the other bookstores. But yeah, I also have it on my website. But Radhi Devlukia on all platforms.
I mean, whoever hasn't seen this.
Oh, I love that recipe. I haven't made that. in a while.
Yes, the lentil bolognese.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the book is a kitchery, the spinach, chickpea, and I mean, I think I made the sweet potato pesto. It was so delicious.
Oh, yum. I like that
I
one.
made it for my mom. And so anyone who doesn't have this book, anyone who's considering going vegan or plant-based, it's really good. Even if you're not vegan, you can like combine this to add more vegetables in your life because it does teach you how to do that. And also you have your own Instagram, which I am a devout follower. I watch everything. And your podcast, A Really Good Cry. Where can people find your Instagram?
Radhi Devlukia on everything. And A Really Good Cry is my podcast.
Yes, go and watch her podcast. It is amazing. I also got to be on her podcast. So
Yeah,
I'm
our
excited
episode
for
was
that.
great.
Yes, it was wonderful.
Thank
Radhi, thank you so much for being here. This was so much fun. I
was.
felt like this was a catch up that
I know.
I've been meaning to have
Just
with
chatting.
you. Right?
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Thanks, love.